This video explains how to form contractions in English. A contraction is a single word which has been formed by combining two words and replacing one or more letters with an apostrophe. The meaning of a contraction is identical to the meaning of the two words from which it is formed. Some examples of contractions are didn't, which is formed from the two words did not. I'm, which is formed from the two words I am. Hasn't, which is formed from the two words has not. He'll, which is formed from the two words he will. She's, which is formed from the two words she is. They'd, which is formed from the two words they would. We've, which is formed from the two words we have. Let's, which is formed from the two words let us. There are three rules that you can use to form almost every contraction in English. First of all, almost always the first word stays the same. The second word is always the one which has one or more letters removed. Finally, an apostrophe is placed where the removed letters used to be. One of the most common contractions are those that are formed by joining a word with the word not. When forming a not contraction, it is the O in the word not that is removed, and an apostrophe is placed where the O used to be. Let's practice forming some contractions formed by the word not. To make a contraction from the two words is and not, put the two words together, remove the O, and put an apostrophe where the O used to be. The two words is and not mean the same as the word isn't. To make a contraction from the two words has and not, put the two words together, remove the O, and put an apostrophe where the O used to be. The two words has and not mean the same as the word hasn't. To make a contraction from the two words would and not, put the two words together, remove the O, and put an apostrophe where the O used to be. The two words would and not mean the same as the word wouldn't. To make a contraction from the two words did and not, put the two words together, remove the O, and put an apostrophe where the O used to be. The two words did and not mean the same as the word didn't. To make a contraction from the two words does and not, put the two words together, remove the O, and put an apostrophe where the O used to be. The two words does and not mean the same as the word doesn't. Now, let's look at two exceptions to the rules. The first exception is the contraction for can and not. To form this contraction, you don't just remove the O from the word not. Instead, you remove both the N and the O from the word not. Then you put an apostrophe where the two letters used to be. The two words can and not mean the same as the word can't. The second exception to the rule for forming not contractions is the contraction formed from the words will and not. The O in not is replaced with an apostrophe as the rule states. However, unlike all the other contractions, the first word changes too. The ILL in will is changed to an O, forming the contraction won't. The two words will and not mean the same as the word won't. The same process used in forming not contractions is used to form all other contractions in English. For example, in a contraction formed with the word am, the first word remains the same and the A is replaced with an apostrophe. So the sentence I am here today means the same as I'm here today. In contractions formed with the word will, the first word remains the same and the WI is replaced with an apostrophe. So the sentence he will come later becomes he'll come later. In contractions formed with the word have, the first word remains the same and the HA is replaced with an apostrophe. So the sentence they have gone becomes they've gone. Sometimes two contractions look identical but mean different things. Let's look at contractions containing the words had and would. In both cases, all letters except the D at the end are replaced. It is only through the context of the rest of the sentence that the reader would know either contraction's meaning. In we'd seen it before, we'd means we had. In we'd like to go, we'd means we would. Contractions ending in apostrophe S can also be confusing in their meaning. Apostrophe S can be the short form of us, is, or has. The sentence, let's find Joe, means let us find Joe. The sentence, Joe's not here, means Joe is not here. The sentence, Joe's gone to bed, means Joe has gone to bed. You may wish to use this page as a reference to remind you which letters in the second word are replaced by an apostrophe each time you form a contraction.